Kaplan, please.
I was thinking, I had a thought that I wanted to share with the tzibur. The derech is that they put in the mailboxes like little small newspapers, and they mainly it's made for advertising. And meanwhile, they write different things, different pieces.
Speak a little louder, please, Rabbi Kaplan.
They write news, and it's made for advertising, and they give it out for free. And because of that, I call them rags. Now, these newspapers that they put, they're like 20 pages maybe, and half of it is advertisements. It's only like 10 pages of news maybe, and the rest is advertising. So people take it out, and I happened to read it this week. Really, I felt bad. I shouldn't have read it, especially in these holy days of Shavovim. Mamish, such holy days these days are. The days of Shavovim is when it starts with Parshas Shmos, where the Klal Yisrael was meshubed with Chomer and Levanim, and it goes up till Yisro Mishpatim, where the Klal Yisrael went from Memtes Shari Tumet, they went all the way till Matan Torah in 3 months, which was Panim Bepanim Diba Hashem Imochem, such a mapecha, such a change in these 3 months. And this year it's a Shnasa Yibur, so we add to the Shavovim Truma Tetzaveh, and talking about the Binyan HaMishkan and the Big Tikkunim. These days are not mefurish. Always Reb Tzimmer every year says this, not mefurish, not in Torah Shabiksev, not in Torah Shabal Peh. It's only a minhag kodum, which minhagim ra, as Reb Tzadok HaKohen explains in the Resisei Lailo, then a minhag is what Klal Yisrael feels, that this can make a rutzen, a nachas ruach lafon of Yisborach, the feeling of Klal Yisrael, the feeling of with the koach of B'nai Nevim that Klal Yisrael has, that emenam Nevim, B'nai Nevim, so they feel that these are holy days, and it's right to do special tikkunim in these days. People used to fast in these days. Nowadays that we're weak, so we don't fast. And there are some there. I heard that in the Hasidic yeshivas there are people, there are Bachrim and Avrechim, that they come and they make storim of Chomesh shows for Tzufus, 5 straight hours of learning. That says in the Yesoda Avoda, that this, in the Sefer Yesoda Avoda from Slonim, he says that this is a big tikkun to learn straight, 5 hours straight is a big tikkun to be mechaber on Aveirus. Now, this is days of the people are osik in this tikkunim, and even in Lithuania, in Kelm, they also, there's a sefer of the Pinkas HaKabbalas of Kelm. They made special Kabbalas on themselves and during the days of Shovovim. And it would have been Roy that a person should get fast, and it's also for certain reasons it's hard to learn Chomesh shows for Tzufos because of the way the day is broken up. At least it would be right to eat a little less and not to look at newspapers. At least cut yourself off from the world around you and feel that we're working on getting closer and closer to the Panim Bepanim Dibra Hashem Imochem of Matan Torah. And we're getting closer to the Lifnei Mi'at Mitarim Mitareschem. of Shavovim are days of love. Hashem loves us so much that even though the Gemar Din was Nechtam on Yom Kippur, and the final psak was finished on Hoshana Rabbah, and according to the Hasidic Sfarim, there's another final psak on Rosh Chanukah. But Hashem says, listen, you might have been Nechtam, a bad psak din, but how could I let you go like that? I love you so much. Haben Yakir li Ephraim im Yeled Shashuim. I'm gonna just let you go on to the rest of the year with a bad psak din. Come in from the back door. I know that according to the Seder that Hashem made, that He made in the Bria, so everything is finished and it's nigza, but I'll let you in from the back door, and that's Shovovim. But just show that you want to come in from the back door. Show willingness. So what are you connecting yourself to the outside world, which is tame and dark and muddy and cold? What do you connect yourself to that? Hashem is letting you in from the back door. So show a willingness to come back to Him. And I was nichsham, and I looked at this rag newspaper, but at least once I saw it, let's make a nita class, and let's make a tikkun and learn something from what's happening. It says in this rag that it's called Merkaz Yanim. It talks like this, that there's a party that's called, it changes names, but when we came to Eretz Yisrael, it was called Mapai. Then it changed to Mifleget Avodah. Now they have a different name, but it says that in the name of this Miflegah, they schmattered up hundreds and hundreds of Yidden, monoliths, land, their children in Eretz Yisrael that don't know what Shema Yisrael is. Monoliths, lam, because of this part. And you see what Hashem is doing, that He's breaking them to pieces. Why is it happening, Dafkin, now? Not in the time of the big Rishonim, like Ben Gurion and his crowd. I don't know. Kav Shider. What? That's Kav Shider Achman, of the secrets of Hashem, we don't know. But it's mamish falling apart. Now, there's somebody there that's running this party. He's called Gabbai. His name is Gabbai. And I imagine that his grandparents were Elach Yidden, Tzadikim, and even if not Tzadikim, they were holy Yehudim Pshutim from which country? Iraq, maybe? I don't
Morocco.
know. What?
Morocco.
Oh, Morocco. They were probably holy Jews from Morocco. That they came and they said Shirat Abakashot on Friday night, and they said the Hilim, and they were Manose V'Nosin Be'amuna and Kaviyaitim last there. This guy is the Rahman al-Islam. He goes without a yarmulke and he's not from, and he's the head of the party.
By the way, all the Moroccans, Kimat, became for the Likud. How he became for the Ben Gurion people is unknown.
It could be that he saw that there's more chance for him to get ahead.
Oh, that's he cares about it. His own. Okay, I hear. Yeah.
It's all cheshbonos of politics. What's kedai for me? What's better for me? Where I can get ahead more. Anyway, so this guy. So he's called the head of this party. Now, there's a woman that her name is Tzipi Livni. She's Ashkenazi, I think. And there's somebody in Beit Began that his name is Yoshua Freilich. And he for many years he came to learn with my father twice a week. And even now that my father is in bed a lot, came to him, and he comes to the house sometimes. And he said that he's a relative of his, I think from his wife's side. And he said she legamri chiloni, no shaykhs to nothing, no belief in anything. And I think he said that once at a family gathering matter, and they talked about Yiddishkeit, and there was nobody you couldn't talk to. Now, so what did he do, this chacham? Now this woman, she jumps from party to party. So it says here in this rag that she tried to be choter under, that means to dig under, to like make a, how do you say it, a revolution, maybe, or there's maybe a better word, I don't know, against Mufaz in his time, and Umar in his time, and now she joined Gabai's party in this time, and he saw that he's not getting along with her, so he decided to throw her out. But he kept quiet. He was smart. He didn't just tell everything. And so he waited until there was a gathering of the party. It was supposed to be on a Monday. And she called up to Gabai and she said to him that she can't come on Monday. She's busy. I don't know what she's busy. I don't know. She just can't come. Maybe she had to do halakha to her grandson, maybe, I don't know. So maybe they had a party for it. So Gabay said, okay, so we'll have the meeting on Tuesday. Had the meeting on Tuesday, and nobody knew anything was going to happen, but he called the reporters and the photographers, and had the meeting, and in the middle of the meeting, he said, you're out of the party. Out. What does it mean she's out of the party? I mean, does she have a seat in the Knesset or not?
I think she does, yeah.
But, okay, so what difference does it make? The seat she still has. But, okay, she's not in the party. So that was a big shock for her, and he did it in a very smart way, and he threw her out. He didn't tell anybody to throw her out, because if he would have started letting people know that that's what he's planning, so then she would get gather together other party members, and maybe they would make they would make him a mapolo. They would throw him over. So now he did it suddenly, threw her out, and he's still the head of the party. Now, her question is, should she open up her own party or not? And it says here that she thinks that she has the koach politi to get enough votes to continue having her seat in the Knesset. I mean, that you need a lot of votes to get it's called the Achuzah Chasima. You need a lot. I mean, it's in 6 figures, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, 10,000, 20, 30, 40, 50, I don't know, but it's a big number. And she thinks she's going to get it, that she could continue. Well, go home and light Shabbos candles and bake challahs for Shabbos. Hashem will be much more happy for you. No, she's going to continue. Now, the whole time, she was discussing with Kachlon. There's this guy Kachlon, which is also, who knows what, at least he has a Jewish name. His name is Moshe. Moshe Emes, Rosh Emes. He has a beautiful name. He has Moshe's name. And it's not a dover pashut in Eretz Yisrael of nowadays. These names are not so shchiach anymore. they made up Jewish Goyish names they made today to break off from the past. And this guy's name is still Moshe. That has some kind of a nekuda tova, we could say. So she's discussing with him, and he's together with Netanyahu. So she's trying to pull him away from Netanyahu and see if she can make a party together with him. And he's warning her, it's not going to help, it's not going to work. And
Wait a minute. Who's warning her?
Caplan is warning her. Don't start up. It's not going to work. You'll see. You're just going to get yourself into trouble. And she thinks she's smarter. What can you expect from a woman? She's so involved in her own self, even though all politicians are involved in themselves. But a woman is even more. So she thinks she can join Caplan and break him away from Netanyahu and do something together. Now, he's telling her it's not going to work, it's not kedai, you have to be smart and don't think you're going to have that. And she didn't listen. Now, when Gabbai threw her out, so right away she sent a message to Caplan, Tov tzadakta, you were right. Now, the question is,
Rabbi Caplan. Hello, Rabbi Caplan.
What?
She was trying to go with Caplan while she was still with Gabbai.
Yeah.
Oh, she's mamasha bogade. I get it. Okay, continue.
Yeah, I think so, unless I didn't understand. Maybe she wanted Caplan to join her party, maybe. I don't know.
Good that she's revolted. She's switched parties all the time. She always does it. Kiyadua.
Mm-hmm. So, now Caplan doesn't know if he's going to be... Until now, he had his own party. He was part of the Likud, I think. And she's trying to tell him to start his own party.
No, I'm not sure, but okay.
I'm not sure either. Now...
No, he's very popular at Caplan. He had his own party because he reduced taxes a lot, and he became very popular. He did a lot of things. He brought the telephone prices down, the telephone from 200 shekels a month to 50 shekels a month. He broke the monopoly on these, a lot of people there. He has a lot of support.
Yeah. But he does have his own party.
Yeah, he does.
But he's together with the Likud. He's going with them.
He's in the coalition.
Now, if he sees that his party is falling apart, he's going to mamish join the Likud. And he'll get some job from Netanyahu. Now, and she tried to talk him out of it, and he said it's not good. You have to be smart. You have to have seichel. You can't have everything you want. And she was wrong, and he was right, and that's it. Now, there's another thing. This Gabbai. So this writer here, this reporter here, says like this, that even though he did something very smart, and he kept quiet. First of all, keeping quiet alone is very smart. That's what the pasuk says in Mishlei, Gam Evil Machrish Chochem Yechoshev. Even a fool, but if he keeps quiet, he's considered smart. And there's a pshat that I heard once from a friend of mine, Menachem Salman, that he said that they just keeping quiet alone is a chokhmah. So he must have some chokhmah. He can't be he's altogether stopped up because he knows a certain chokhmah that you should keep quiet. Anyway, so that's what Gabbai did. He kept quiet until he brought out the bomb that he threw out. But this writer says, but he didn't know that you have to think further in the future. You can't just, right now it's a smart move, but what's it going to do to him in the further down the line? He says it's like playing chess, that you can't just think about the next move or 2 moves ahead. You have to think many moves ahead. And I don't know, it could be that he's going to lose votes because of this, but that's what happened. Now, I started thinking, now look, and then these things, there's nothing new about all this. This is what always goes on in politics. All these, I'm just happening to talk about it now because this is what I read now. But this is always what goes on. But now I'm asking a question like this: Where does Klal Yisrael come in over here? I'm not talking about Fromkeit and Yiddishkeit and. But I'm talking about a simple thing. Everybody understands that the Lahora, it looks like it on the outside that Zionism was made in order to solve the problem that Jews have in the Golus. All these years, we've been suffering under the Goyim, and now we'll have our own Medina, and things will get better. No, it's not really like that. It's not the whole truth. It's just that's what they said, and that's what they spread this idea. The truth is that Ben Gurion was looking for power, and Jabotinsky was looking to shmad up the Klal Yisrael. That was his main goal, was creating shmad, creating a new Jew. Jabotinsky's goal. And Ben Gurion also had that goal, but I think that power was more important to him. Now, but they talked the language that they thought was, we're going to solve the problem that the Jewish people had for 1,900 years. So I'm asking, did any of all these people, all these little midgets, Caplan and Gabbai and Mrs. Livni, did any of these midgets think about what's better for the Jewish people, what will help the Jewish people, what could do better for the Jewish people, what could help make the Jewish people in a better situation, more happy, easier lives? Did they think about that? I mean, you see over here, the whole talk is, what's the best way that I can get ahead? I'm talking like a big Tomin, like very naive I'm talking. Because somebody will say to me, well, that's politics, don't you know? But you were just born yesterday. You don't know that that's how it goes in politics. True, I do know that that's how it goes in politics. But let's look at things. Let's give a fresh look. Let's not get old. Old means that you get used to it, and this is how it is, and this is how it's going to stay. Let's not read newspapers and feel that we're old. I once heard on a tape from Rabbi Beryl Wein that he said, he was telling that he had a Rebbe, Rab Mendel Kaplan. Mendel Kaplan didn't know English when he first got to America. So he said to the boys in his shir, let's make a deal. You'll teach me English. Let's bring a newspaper in English, and you'll help me read it, and through that you'll teach me English, and I'll teach you how to read a newspaper, how to read it, how to not believe everything it says. The same thing I'm saying over here. I'm talking over here. we read these stories and this one, but let's think about let's look at it like a chacham looks at a newspaper. Let's ask ourselves the simple Tumistic question. Do any of these people think what's better for the Jewish people? Like, let's say like this, is Gabbai better for the Jewish people? Is Gabbai having Tzipi Livni together with him better for the Jewish people? Is that going to do good to the people? Is Kachlon having his own party doing better to the Jewish people? I mean, between him, Beinolu Bein Atzmoin, and by himself, let him think about it. Am what I doing? Let him look in the mirror and ask himself, am I doing something that's going to help the Jewish people? Can help the Jewish people in the state of Israel to be more secure, to have a better life. Now, it could be he did a few good things. He lowered taxes. Yeshua Meir is telling me, very good, and maybe he is thinking about what's better. Is she thinking about his Gabbai thinking about? I mean, the way when you read it, you read like his cheshbon is that I better do it this way. She thinks that it's better to do it this way to separate Kachlon from Netanyahu. And Kachlon is telling her that with Gabbai we're not going to succeed. What does it mean succeed? What does it mean? It's all getting ahead. And it's all about me. It's about me getting ahead. And that's what it's all about. And this is what happens in every movement, even in frum movements like Agudas Yisrael. It starts with the pure L'Shem Shomayim. And Chofetz Chaim came to the Knesset Gedola of Agudas Yisrael. And there was all Inyan V'yotzu Kulam Aguda Echos, and we're going to unite L'Shem Shomayim. Okay, very good. But many years went by since then. We don't have a Chofetz Chaim anymore. We don't have a... And even Rav Steinman, he was like the Chofetz Chaim in our times. I think we could say that he was a Bilti L'Hashem Levadu. We don't have it anymore. And the years went by, and we forgot, the party forgot what we came here for. I mean, and it became, there's a talk that whenever, especially when it comes to elections, so the talk is, like, what can we do to make our party more successful? Our party. This is what's important. It's not what's important. The party is not important at all. What's important is to block the evil that the Chilonim want to create in Eretz Yisrael. As much as we can to block that evil. An evil they want to create in many different ways, and especially the evil they want to do to us, to influence our education, and by telling us how to teach and what to teach, and by drafting B'nai Yeshivas, which is a terrible thing. Even those that don't learn, the army is a tmukum tumor. The army is a place that one of the foundations of it is Gilui Arayas. That's one of its purposes deep down, and you have to be naive not to believe that. And another purpose of it is to be a goy, to act like a goy, to talk like a goy, to have nothing to do with anything holy, to create such Jews, new Jews, goyish Jews. That's the purpose of the army, and the purpose of having a party, Agudas Yisrael, and having Knesset members is to try the best we can to block these gezeres. But we have to believe that we can block these gzeras in our own ways. The more we're mekabel of all Torah, the more it's mavir memeno malchus vol derech eretz. The more we have, the less we have to be afraid of them. And we have to believe that we fight these bad gzeras just as much, we b'nai Torah just as much as Knesset members. They're just shluchim to try to do the best they can. But the party Agudas Yisrael and Degel Torah, it's not a thing in itself. It's not a purpose in itself. We have to know that. We have to remember that. And we also forget that, and we think it's a thing in itself. And because of that, when it comes to election time, so they start talking about mitzvahs, to do what the Gedolim say, to listen to the Gedolim. And the Gedolim say other things also. They also say you're not allowed to learn in the middle of Chazar Sashat. I imagine that they say that. Okay, said the Mishnah Brewer said, the Shulchan Aruch says, what's the difference? And I mean, and other things. And Chaim Kanievsky says you should get married early. I'm not saying anything. But he says you should get married early. So what are you going to do about that? It's not easy to keep that, to do that. And it's hard to understand how could a youngster of 18, 19 get married? He's still a baby. And I mean, a 30-year-old is also a baby, and a 40-year-old. And I feel like I'm, even at the age of 50, I didn't grow up yet, and it took me maybe at the age of 60 I grew up. I don't know, but we're so small, such small people. So what, at 18 you're going to get married? I don't know, but that's what he says. So maybe you do have to understand it, maybe you don't have to understand it. Who's that? But let's talk about it at least. Nah. All of a sudden it comes to elections, everybody remembers. That's all because as years went by, we forgot what we came here for, forgot what it was made for. And these Chilonim, of course, they forgot what it was here for. The last one that still remembered what the purpose of Zionism was, what the purpose of our government was Begin. I remember I heard him in a speech that he said, "Ken tzarich lavod kasher b'shvil Am Yisrael." It was not a speech, it was an interview. He works hard and he's working hard for the Jewish people. At least he knew, he still remembered that that's what the purpose is. He knew the language. He did language he didn't forget. What was he personally? I don't know. If he was a Talmud of such a Russia, Goy, Machtias Arabim, such a like Jabotinsky. If he was his Rebbe, I don't know what he was, but maybe he went away from his Rebbe's ways. I don't know. But he knew that the language has to be that kind of language. That's how you have to talk. Tzarich lavod kasher b'shvil Am Yisrael. You have to work hard for Klal Yisrael. He knew that. At least that's Eina Kodesh Baruch Hu Mekapech Schar Sicha Noed, says Chazal. Somebody says a few nice words, a few words that Hashem is happy from. So Hashem is not Mekapech. He doesn't take away the schar for that. So very good. So at least that. But after that, it's all, and when you read these stories about what's going on now, and it was always that way, but even, I think you even see it more. It's more out in the open. The me, it's all for me, it's all cheshbonis of me. Look at what Gedolei Yisrael were like. Rabbi Baruch Ber, he traveled to America for his yeshiva, and he didn't think of such a thing. But he had to. They told him he wouldn't have known it even, but they told him there isn't what to eat. Rabbeinu, we have to do something. He traveled to America together with his son-in-law, Reuven. And he went around there. He went, I guess, from city to city, from shul to shul. And they spoke. They said drushes. So Reb Moshe Bernstein writes in a small kuntras I saw, where he talks about he talks about different things about his life and his father-in-law. And he said when he was in America, he didn't ever mention that he comes from the Kamenitzer Yeshiva. He's collecting for the Kamenitzer Yeshiva. He didn't say that. He just said, you should know, you American Jews should know, there's Torah in Europe. And Torah is important. It's the Yesod of Klal Yisrael. And you have to help Torah. We have to help Torah. Then his son-in-law, Reuven, he used to get up afterwards and say, we're going for the Kamenitzer Yeshiva. Why didn't Rabbi Bear say that? Because it's my Torah. It belongs to me. My yeshiva is the Torah. There's Torah in Europe. That's what he said. Afterwards, you want to support, let's say, for example, Rabbi Shimon Shkop's yeshiva. But so, very good. There'll be Torah in Klal Yisrael. So it has to be me. It has to be my yeshiva. That's how you looked at it. I mean, to think about it nowadays, it's like almost a thing you have to be a malach to be that way. Like it says by Manoach that the malach came and said, you'll have a baby and you'll make him another. And then they brought a carbon, and the malach went up alav eishvin hashomayim. He went up to the heaven, and he never came back. V'lo Yosef od malach Hashem le'ro el Manoach v'yishto oz yoda Manoach ki malach Hashem hu. He never came back to say, knew what happened, how did it work, how's the baby growing up, is he going to be the leader that we thought he's going to be? No, he doesn't care. He did his shlichus. He did what Hashem sent him for, and more than that, he doesn't have to. What happened in the end, it doesn't matter to him. Oz yoda monach ki malach Hashem hu. It's not human, such a thing. He does his shlichus, and more he doesn't care. And there were human beings that were like that. And that was Rab Baruch Ber was like that. Even though Rab Baruch Ber had a different derech than Reb Shimon, a different way of explaining Gemaras, different way of understanding Torah. And it could be that certain things that Reb Shimon said, Rab Baruch Ber held that it's wrong. It doesn't matter, but he holds a place of Torah. He has a base medrash. So that's let that be the Torah. Let that be the Torah that's holding up close. That's a malach. Oz yoda manach ki malach Hashem hu. That's Gedol Yisrael. Reb Shraga Feivel Mendelovich, he started Yeshiva Torah V'das, and with that he started Torah in America. And then other Gedolim came to America after him, and they started yeshivas, maybe Baron Kotler. So Reb Shraga Feivel sent some of the best Bachim he sent to Rabbi Kotler, to Baal Batim, to help them support the yeshiva. So what are you doing here? You're running your own yeshiva. He said, what do I care? It's my Torah. I have to have a yeshiva. We have to have Torah in America. There'll be another Rosh Yeshiva that'll have a yeshiva. So let it be. Let him run the yeshiva. And the truth is, think about the whole system in democracy. That you take, in America, you take two people. How did they get there to be nominated? How? Different ways. They pushed themselves or whatever until they were nominated. Then you got the millions of American people vote for one of these two. Why should I vote one of these two? Maybe there's somebody else that's much smarter than them, much more intelligent than them, has much more the qualities that you need to be a leader more than them, knows better how to organize things, knows better how to run our government. Why this? Now, after they push their way up to the top, then you say, democracy, vote for one of these two. Because it's Olamas Sheker, it's all, politics is all thinking about yourself, thinking about themselves. And Baruch Hashem, that you was Ivdi Lonu Min HaToim V'Nasan Lonu Teretz Emes. We're Torah is far from these, who became a leader by the Jewish people. Pasuk says, Vayivchar b'David Avdo. Pasuk in Tehillim in the end of Ein Ches. Vayivchar b'David Avdo vaykocheu mimichlos tzon. He took David HaMelech from a shepherd. He was a shepherd of sheep, sitting out in the field watching over the sheep, taking care of the sheep. From there, Hashem took him. Hashem has his ways. Hashem could do it. Took him as a shepherd. Liras v'Yakov Amo Yisrael Nachaloso. David HaMelech became the leader. Why? Because Hashem chose him. Vayivcher b'David Avdo. Not the people chose him. Hashem chose him. That's the real way. It's not democracy, and it's not voting, and it's not cheshbonos of I'm better than you, and I can do, and I can push my way to get ahead. It's not all of that. It's sheker. It's stuyot. It's all olam ha-sheker. And we have to know this. It's important to us, for us, to remember all this. It's important that we should keep this holy look. Usmunas Hashem Yabid. I think the Chazam Lublin said, Usmunas Hashem Yabid. He looks at things through the eyes of Hashem. Look at the world Toradik. Let's not remember that tamimistic and naive, pure, innocent look at the world. Let's remember where we came from. Let's remember what the purpose of everything is. You read a newspaper and you read about politics, and you see what's going on, and you see how each one is thinking only about himself, only what would be the best way how I could push myself ahead. And we read it, and we absorb this information and go on with life. Meanwhile, this information makes an impression on our minds, and we think that this is how it's supposed to be. That's like the famous story that Rav Nachman Breslauer said about the king and his I say the Mishnah Lamelech, that the astrologers said that, or they themselves were astrologers. They saw that whoever eats the grain that's going to grow this year is going to go crazy. And then the king said, "What's it?" Or the Mishnah Lamelech said that what's going to help if we won't eat it? Everybody will go crazy, and we'll stay normal. So we'll be the crazy ones because we're different than everybody. So he said, so we have no choice of to eat it like everybody else. But let's make a mark on our foreheads that we should remember that it wasn't always like this. We were once different. We were once much more pure and holy. Let's us also, first of all, it would be better if anybody who can be makabel in himself that during the days of Shavovim not to look at any news. News means what's going on in the dark, Tamedic, evil world, knowing and thinking that this is the way it's meant to be. Getting used to the idea that this is how it was meant to be. Forgetting that it wasn't always this way. Reading a newspaper means more and more forgetting that it wasn't always this way. The pasuk says, "For Arval Hashem Minchas Yehuda v'Yerushalayim," the karbonos that'll be brought will be sweet to Hashem, Kimei Olam v'Cheshonim Kadmoniyos. Kimei Olam, the Medrash says, is Snosav Shel Noach. Cheshonim Kadmoniyos is a Odom Harishon. That there was no avodah zarah in the world. The world was pure, clean. Odom Harishon, he just was created. Hashem, Omad al Raglav, the Gemara says, and it says that the first thing he said to the whole creation, L'chu naran al Hashem naril etzrishena. Let's praise Hashem. Let's praise the one that created us. Kimei olam, in Shnosav Shel Noach, he came out of the Teva and he brought karbonos. The world was pure. All the evil was erased from the world. Starting again, a new world, a new, clean, pure world. Forget about all the avodah zarah there was. Let's try, man, the best we can in the Shovavim days. Not at least if you want to look at headlines, okay, but to less and less least as you can to connect yourself to the world which is avodah zarah. Let's remember the Kimei Olam. Let's remember the Shonim Kadmoniyos. It wasn't always this way. There were once people that they thought about Klal Yisrael. They worried for Klal Yisrael. They didn't worry about themselves. I once read a story that it was already the beginning of the war. Rab Chaim Ozer, all the yeshivas came to Vilna at that time. And Rab Chaim Ozer, he was nifter, right? The Hayov in the beginning of the war. The war started, this was Hayov Tovshin. It was almost a year later. The war started in the beginning of Tovshin. And Chaim Ozer was sitting with big Gedolim and Rosh Yeshivas and talking about what to do. They all came to Vilna and was talking about what to do. So it came in a young girl that she was Kala, and she wanted to talk to the Rov. So he came out there in the middle of meeting with Gedolei Olam. He came out there and he asked what. So she said she's a Kala. I'm getting married. She wants a brach. So he asked her, did you learn the halachos that you have to know to be married? So she said no. So he stood there and he taught her the main basics of the halachos that you have to know. In the middle of a meeting with Gedolei Torah. And I think he even said it, or whatever it was, Chaim Ozer understood that what's Klal Yisrael? What is Klal Yisrael? Klal Yisrael is built up of a lot of yechidim. By helping this girl build a house, a Bais Neman B'Yisrael, a pure house, a Torah house, Al Pi the halacha of the Torah, that's helping build Klal Yisrael. That's Gedolei Torah, that's Manhigim, that's Einei Oido, that's Tzadikim, that's the Yesodus that the world stands on. They think they're worried not just about Klal Yisrael, but about every individual of Klal Yisrael. And there are many stories like that, about how Gedolei Torah looked at it. I once heard from a tape from Shlomo Carlebach. He said, it says in the Piyut in the Sanat Tokef, it says, B'shofar Gadol Yitoka. Right before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a shofar Gadol going to be blown. But V'kol D'mama Dako Yishama. A low, delicate voice will be heard. So he said, there'll be a big mapech in the world. The world will be shaking. But the quiet voice of the individual, the kol d'mama daka, that will also be lost in the middle of all the noise that's going on. Hashem should help us. The Bekar of the days of Tzimmer says the days of Shavavim, that's Oro Shel Mashiach is shining on us. Yashmeinu, soon the new Matan Torah, Yashmeinu Barachim of Shenis Le'enei Kol Choi Le'oslachem Le'elokim. Hashem is going to be Mashmias. Shenis Le'enei Kol Choi. Hashem is going to tell us, Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I was always with you. The same Anochi Hashem Elokeichem that was by Matan Torah, that same Anochi is now. You should know everything you went through. Is all I was there all the time. We should be Zocher, the Bakorov, he should come. Valilim Karsi Karesun, and it should be L'Sake Olam B'Malchus Shaka.
Amen v'amen. Thank you, Rabbi Kaplan.